Imagine a mother who not only held no belief in Islam, but throughout her life had viewed it with suspicion and doubt. Her family, loving yet rooted in tradition, had always viewed Islam as something foreign, distant, even something to be wary of. For Casey Cameron, a young mother from New York, this skepticism was just a part of life. Raised in a close-knit family that placed great value on their own traditions and beliefs, Islam was something she had always kept at arm's length, convinced that it held nothing for her. But as fate would have it, an incredible, almost unimaginable event shattered her views, forcing her to rethink everything she believed. This is the story of Casey's miraculous journey of faith, a journey that began when her 2-month-old son, in a moment of pure innocence, spoke words that transformed her life forever. But before we dive into this incredible story, make sure to subscribe to *Heartbeats for Allah*, and click the bell icon for more uplifting stories of faith, miracles, and divine guidance. Casey's life took a surprising turn when she discovered she was pregnant. Like any mother, she was filled with a blend of excitement and anxiety, determined to give her child the best life possible. But early on in her pregnancy, she faced a health complication that required her to seek medical assistance more frequently. Her doctor, a kind and patient man, was Muslim. Though Casey wasn't comfortable with the idea initially, she had no choice but to go to him for her checkups. She had heard many things about Muslims growing up, and none of them were positive. But necessity made her put those thoughts aside, at least for a while. One day during an appointment, Casey arrived a little early. As she entered the clinic, she noticed the doctor was sitting quietly, reading something aloud in a beautiful, rhythmic tone. The words were foreign to her, but the sound was calming and melodious. She soon realized he was reading from the Quran. Although she initially felt uncomfortable, she stayed silent, unsure how to respond. She didn't want to be rude, so she waited, all the while listening to the words. To her surprise, instead of feeling anxious, she felt a strange sense of peace. Unintentionally, she was drawn to the sound, listening carefully. But what Casey didn't realize was that her baby, still in her womb, was also hearing the Quran. This was her first exposure to Islam, and though her heart was still filled with reservations, something about the experience lingered in her mind. Each time she visited, she noticed the doctor's gentle nature, his calm demeanor, and the way he treated his patients with care and respect. It began to chip away at her preconceived notions, even if she wouldn't admit it at the time. The months passed, and Casey gave birth to a healthy baby boy. Her son was her entire world, and she poured all her love and attention into him. One evening, as she held him in her arms, she leaned down, whispering softly, "I love you," expecting only the gentle coos and murmurs of a newborn baby. But to her amazement, what she heard was entirely different. Her son's voice wasn't just babbling, it was something intentional, something almost purposeful. She leaned in closer, her heart racing as she tried to make sense of it. Just then, that same Muslim doctor, who had been visiting for a routine follow-up, overheard the baby's sounds. His eyes widened as he listened closely, feeling a chill run down his spine. Could it be? He realized that the baby was attempting to say the Kalima Shahadat, the declaration of faith in Islam. Overwhelmed, he approached Casey, his voice filled with awe. "Your son," he said slowly, struggling to contain his emotion. "He's saying the Kalima*. Do you know what that means?" Casey looked back at him, bewildered. "The Kalima*, she repeated, uncertain what he meant. The doctor, seeing her confusion, explained, "The Kalima* is the declaration of faith in Islam. Your baby is saying, there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. These words are the essence of the Muslim faith." The doctor's words hung in the air, and Casey was overcome with shock. Her son, a tiny, innocent baby, was somehow reciting sacred words she barely understood. She couldn't believe it, yet she knew it was real. She remembered the times she had overheard the doctor reciting the Quran while she was pregnant, and she felt an unexplainable connection to those moments. Could it be that her child had absorbed the doctor's recitations before birth? She was filled with a sense of awe, a mixture of wonder, disbelief, and a growing realization that her life might never be the same again. The doctor, sensing her turmoil, gently continued explaining the significance of the Kalima asterisk. He told her that these words represent the foundation of Islam, a simple yet powerful declaration of one's faith in Allah and His Messenger. As he spoke, Casey felt a strange peace settling over her, an undeniable pull towards something greater than herself. She looked down at her baby, this tiny, miraculous being who had somehow brought this message into her life. Returning home, Casey couldn't shake the memory of what she had heard. She tried to dismiss it, but her heart was drawn to the idea that her son's words had meaning beyond her understanding. In the days that followed, she reached out to the Muslim doctor again, asking him to explain more about Islam. The doctor was overjoyed and began to share with her the beauty of submission to Allah, the peace that comes from trust in Him, and the unity that binds all Muslims through the Kalima asterisk. Each conversation opened her heart a little more. She found herself captivated by the simplicity and depth of Islam, reading about the prophets and the miracles that had shaped their lives. One story that deeply moved her was that of Mary, and her son Jesus, Isa, peace be upon him. Just like her own son, Jesus had miraculously spoken as an infant, defending his mother's honor. Casey felt a connection to Maryam's story, as if it echoed her own experience. As she learned, her heart softened, and she began to feel that Allah had chosen her for this journey. Her child's miraculous first words had been a divine message, calling her toward a path she never would have chosen on her own. She started to understand that Allah's guidance had been with her, even before her son was born, during those moments in the clinic when she unknowingly listened to the Quran. Eventually, Casey took the step she once thought impossible. Surrounded by her supportive friends and the doctor who had guided her, she recited the Kalima asterisk herself, declaring her faith in Allah and His Messenger. As she spoke the sacred words, she felt a deep peace, as if a weight had been lifted from her heart. She knew then that she had found her truth, that the faith she had once viewed with suspicion was now the source of her strength and serenity. Casey's transformation didn't go unnoticed by her family. Though they were initially resistant and unsure, they began to see the changes in her, the newfound calm, the purpose that Islam had given her. Some of her family members even started to ask questions, curious about the faith that had so profoundly impacted Casey's life. Slowly, her openness to Islam began to break down the barriers her family had held, and some of them started exploring Islam as well. Looking back, Casey knew that her son's first words were no accident. They were a divine message, a reminder of Allah's limitless wisdom and mercy. Her child, without even understanding what he was saying, had become a guiding light, leading her toward faith. Through him, she had been given a second chance to embrace Islam with an open heart and a newfound belief. This story is a reminder that Allah's signs are everywhere, even in the quietest, most unexpected places. They can come through the innocence of a child, the kindness of a stranger, or the beauty of the Quran's words heard by a hesitant listener. Just as miracles happened in the times of the prophets, Allah's guidance reaches us today in ways we might least expect, calling us to reflect, listen, and believe. Casey's journey shows us that anyone, regardless of their past beliefs or doubts, can be guided when Allah wills. Her transformation inspires us to remain open to the signs of Allah's mercy and to trust that His wisdom and guidance can touch every heart willing to seek the truth. If this story moved you, please like this video, share it with friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to Heartbeats for Allah for more uplifting stories of faith, transformation, and divine guidance. Click the red button and the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching, and may Allah keep all of our hearts open to His signs and mercy. Until next time, may peace and blessings be upon you. Goodbye.